Hi there guys, this is part 2 of a 5-part series in which I take the winners of each category and progress them on to the all-time favourite characters in media. I've already done the top 5 video game characters, which if you haven't seen, check out the card. Today I'm doing something a little different. Today I'm doing the top 5 characters in movies. These movies can be across anything. I'm not sticking to one genre, just movies that I enjoy. Some honourable mentions on this list are Bill and Ted, for example. Brilliant characters in their own right, but I couldn't justify putting one in the top 5. I put Luke Skywalker originally on this. He was close to the top, but originally I thought, nah, there's no more point. I think everyone expects me to put like a Star Wars character in this list, which there might be. So here we go, guys. Here are my top 5 characters in movies. In at number 5, guys, is Chief from Isle of Dogs. Now, if you haven't seen Isle of Dogs, you are truly missing out. It's a stop-motion movie where basically all the main characters are dogs and they all speak English, but all the adults speak Japanese, but they're not translated. And it's set in Japan, and basically the dogs have a virus and they get sent to this island to live and to die, and like Japanese just don't care about them in this massive pandemic. And it's really good. It's directed by Wes Anderson. And Bryan Cranston, basically, his character goes through these trials and tribulations, and by the end of the movie, you're amazed. You look at this character and you think, my god, it's not even the same guy who we started off liking as a character. There's a lot of emotional depth for the character, but, you know, he's a dog, so. But yeah, number 5. In at number 4, guys, is Darth Vader. You know me, I'm nerdy, I had to put Vader on the list. He would have been higher, but I feel like if I do that, people would just be like, oh, you've put him on high because you're a nerd. Even though he's like the best ever villain. He's one of the greatest villains ever created. If you know anything about Star Wars. If you don't, check out my video on rankings of the Star Wars movies. Basically, the character itself, it goes through like so many ups and downs, and like you understand how he became so emotionally damaged. There's no words to describe Darth Vader. His impact on cultural society, and he is possibly more evil than Skeletor. There, I said it. When he's obviously played by David Prowse and voiced by James Earl Jones, he's the best. When it's Hayden Christensen, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Vader, you know, it's big, imposing figure. Every time he commands presence on the screen. So yeah, number 4, guys, easy. Number 3 is Rick Deckard from Blade Runner. Played by Harrison Ford. Really, when I first watched this movie, really spoke to me. Really liked the character, and it makes you think about what it means to be human, and the big debate whether or not Deckard is a replicant, and things like that. And I feel like in the sequel to Blade Runner, it really sort of builds upon his character. But in the first one, he's brilliant. He's so badass, and you know, he's sitting there in the rain, eating noodles. Cool, he's Harrison Ford. I mean, what more do you want from a character? So therefore, number 3. In at number 2, guys, is Jack Torrance from The Shining. I've only very recently watched The Shining, and I do mean recently in like the last sort of 2 years. When you see Jack Nicholson playing Torrance, my god, it is otherworldly. I lost myself to his performance. He's so creepy, he's so brilliant, he's so like unnerving. Like if I was locked up with him, I wouldn't want to be, because it's Nicholson. You know you're in for a great performance, because Jack Nicholson always gives 110%. He always has and he always will. But Torrance, for me, is like he's so scary that he's not, in a way. Like you look at him and you go, this is a guy who's just a guy. He's nothing, you know, compare him to Darth Vader. You know, Jack Torrance is just an average looking guy, but my god, he's so deranged. But yeah, brilliant. Number 2. In at number 1, guys, is John Wick. Now, I had to put John Wick at number 1 because he's just off screen with a gun pointed at my head. I think John Wick re-energized Keanu Reeves' career. In the late 2000s, he was sort of out of practice. Like 2008, we had Day of the Earth still, and it was just like, man, it was fine. Keanu sort of lost his star power. But then he did John Wick, and now he's the man. He's back on top. He's everywhere. Everyone loves him, and I love him. I think he's a brilliant actor. He's got so much range. Even though he speaks like this, and he's, you know, be excellent to each other. Oh, that sort of crap. But yeah, John Wick, he's the best. It really is. And it's a great series of movies. Like utter brilliance in action. Really good. So that was my number 1. Well, there you go, guys. That was my top 5 characters in movies. What did you think? Would you put John Wick at number 1? I can understand why you wouldn't. But there are other characters which, like I said, I haven't mentioned. You know, Indiana Jones, for example. Hellboy. I really like Hellboy. You know, there's millions of characters. I could have said Rey Skywalker. But if you like this, guys, stay tuned because there will be more content coming up very, very soon. So make sure you hit like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell. Please stay safe and more importantly, stay awesome.